What's good, guys? Welcome back to the channel. As you can see, slightly different style of video today as I'm chilling in the car outside my gym waiting for a phone call. So I thought I will just give my intro here and not in the studio. I'm going to take you guys through, through my chest workout, my chest and tricep workouts, as the last video I posted on how to grow a thicker chest was pretty good for my statistics compared to my other videos. So it looks like building a chest is a good topic. So I just thought I'd take you for the entire workout. Now, a little bit about what's going on with me. If you didn't know, I had gyno surgery 6 weeks ago. Is that cool? No, it's not. It's a message. I had gyno surgery 6 weeks ago. So I've been off the gym for 4 of those weeks. I've been back in the gym since 2 weeks ago, and I'm having a virtual consultation today. It's what the phone call I'm waiting on is all about. So it saves me driving the 110, 120 miles to London to have an in-person consultation. I feel fine. I feel good. I've been training for 2 weeks. Everything looks good. So I sent all my photos and videos to them, to the doctor, to the surgeon, and they're just going to get back to me. They're going to get back to me on what they think, how they think recovery's going. My 1 week and 3 week post-consultation was absolutely fine. So I would be mega surprised if anything's wrong with my 6 week post-surgery consultation. So we're making it virtual. Now, since then, my weight is flying up. I've been super, super careful with my diet. I haven't officially started the off season because I want to be 100% before I start. I have gone and got my bloods done. 8 weeks off cycle. I did reintroduce TRT a couple weeks back, however. So I was 6 weeks fully off cycle, and then reintroduced TRT dosages back 2 weeks ago now. So I'm getting my bloods done, make sure everything is healthy, and then we can potentially start the off season. I do like having a full clear out before we actually, push in for a heavy off season. So make sure the bloods are all good, make sure the health is good, and then we'll officially start the off season hopefully in a couple of weeks. Now, that means what's happening with training. Training I'm enjoying. I'm not following any structure. I've somehow fallen into push-pull legs, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but I want to train legs twice a week. As my first week back, I was still afraid of doing upper body, so I did a load of leg workouts. So I did legs twice a week, and I enjoyed it, splitting out quad day and hamstring day. And so I did that again this week, and now it kind of just continued. I'm also very aware my back is my weakest point, so I've been doing back twice a week as well. And I wanted to film a back workout, however, I forgot my camera at home, so that wasn't possible. So just in for a chest and tricep day today. Now, the problem is the music is so loud in my gym that I think I'm going to have to dub it afterwards. So I'm just going to film the workout and then dub the entire afterwards in post-edit dubbing. God, I can try to say that again. Afterwards, I'll try to, you know what I'm trying to say. my brain's not quite there, apparently. Too concerned with the workout, or I'm too hyped up on my pre-workout because that's actually kicking in. I'm getting all itchy. Not the biggest fan of beta-alanine, but it was in this pre-workout. I'm trying all sorts of new things now. I'm not sponsored, so I get to, go in and buy and test all these fun pre-workouts and protein flavors. So it's, swings and roundabouts with sponsorships. If you get all these subs for free, you kind of have to stick to the brand you're working with. But when you're on your own, you can buy whatever you want. So I'm enjoying a little bit of freedom. At the same time, I'll still need to go ahead and actually find myself a new sponsor because it just was not working with my old one. I actually handed in a resignation rather than get sacked, which is quite rare with brands, but they were going in a really bad direction, and the way my contract set up was I needed to get it out earlier than later. So yeah, I sort of resigned from that one, and they let me off the hook and let me off early. And now I have to wait for my non-compete to be fully used up, the timing of my non-compete to go through. Okay, I have my phone call. I'll catch you guys in the gym. Hello? Okay, let's see if I can do this all in one take. I am going to be sipping on my intro workout, which is going to just be 20 grams of BCAAs, 10 grams of creatine, 10 grams of glutamine, and 20 grams of cyclic dextrin. That'll probably be bumped up to 30 or 40 grams when I officially start the off season. But this is just my warm-up sets. As you see in my previous video, if you watched my how to build a thick chest video, I always like to start with a fly movement. And for me, I like to do my inclines. So incline cable flies for the first exercise. And this is going to be me warming up. So I'll do 3 warm-up sets to start with. I only filmed 1. I didn't really see the point in filming all 3 warm-ups, but I'll gradually increase the weight. I think I was getting around 8 reps every time for the warm-ups, and then we go in for working sets, and I'm aiming for 10 to 12 reps for my working sets. So once we get the blood in the muscle, get a good stretch, and just find the connection, we will go nicely up in weights and start the working set. Okay, this looks like my working set, as I had to pick it up from behind the bench. I start with pushing my chest up and squeezing my shoulder blades together. Really feel the good stretch. First few reps are always sort of finding your ground as well, I find. That's the purpose of your warm-up as well. You want to just remind the body how to contract the muscle, how to isolate it, specifically in the fly, to get maximum chest gains. You don't want your shoulders taken over. It can be quite bicep intense as well doing flies, so you really want to get as much chest contraction as possible, which is why I like pinching my shoulder blades together, pushing my chest up, and I find that puts me in the prime position to get the most contraction going through my chest. You'll notice here, every set I'm going to do is going to be a rest pause. So here I'm resting for 3 to 5 seconds. I didn't want to rest on the stretch because I thought that would be far too intense. And yeah, you can tell by my facial expressions that was true failure. So it's a very tough one training solo. I'm training solo right now, and mainly it's because I don't have that many training partners that can not keep up with me, but just keep up with my schedule. So, you know, getting timings right, being on time, you know, timing meals to gym. I can't just be like, oh, I'm just be an hour late, because that will mess up my timings because of my eating times going into when I'm supposed to train. So I find that's the hardest thing when it comes to getting a gym partner. I've trained solo for years now, and I like it that way. So this is my second set. Again, I'm going to hit 10 to 12 on this as well, with a rest pause still. And I find the rest pause is the substitute for doing for training with someone. So instead of having someone spot you and help you with your last few reps, the rest pause helps you train past failure, because I wouldn't be able to get that rep, then this next rep coming, if I didn't have a slight pause in between. Getting a very angry rep going, but I was happy with that. Now for my third set of this exercise, the cable chest flies, I did go down quite a bit in weight, because now I want to get a 15 with the rest pauses included. So it's pretty basic workouts. I think I'm only doing 4 exercises for chest, 2 exercises for triceps, and that's enough. Pretty much 3 sets each, apart from the last tricep exercise is just 1 superset. No, not a superset. It was 1 drop set rather. You'll see, that's coming. But yeah, so I'm not doing any drop sets or supersets in my chest workouts. I find you only need to add 1 sort of intensifier, we'll call them. And for me, the intensifier is going to be this rest pause you see me doing. This time I rest pause at the bottom because I kind of overestimated it and I wasn't going to be able to get the rep. So I just take all the tension off and then go again. I do like, in a rest pause, keeping some tension in the muscle, which is why I like trying to do my rest pause with, as you saw, I'll clasp my hands so I still have some contraction in the chest. On a bench, you kind of lock out at the top, but I didn't do that today. I just wasn't feeling strong enough to do that, so I actually did release the weight, because we got Bench coming in next, and this is an opportunity for a shameless plug. I am joined up with Tough Wraps, which is what you see me trying to get on now. This is going to be the worst ad in the world because it took me forever to get them on, which is why it's at 5 times speed right now. Massive struggle. Turns out my arms are much bigger than I thought I was, but no, this is where I actually need a training partner. I need a training partner just to get my damn arm sleeves on, my elbow sleeves on, because this actually took me 5 minutes total just to get the elbow sleeves on. But anyway, so this is a warm-up. When it comes to pressing, especially on my incline Smith press, I like to do 1 plate, 2 plate, 1 plate, 2 plate, 2.5, and then 3 plates for my working set. So that was the first warm-up. Second warm-up, when it comes to pressing, I probably won't go to 8 reps. I think it's too taxing. So because this is only 20 kilos away from my working set, I'll probably only do 3 or 4 warm-up sets here, and still, because I've gone from flies to a press, I will still do 3 warm-up sets. I think warming up is super important, especially when you have injuries like me. I tore my labrum benching, so I got to be super careful when it comes to any pressing movements now. But okay, working set coming in. Oh no, I didn't turn my camera off. So you'll watch me put the weight on, and then it'll clip, and then it should hopefully snap to the actual working set going forward. But 3 plates was good for me. I think 3.25 is my PR. 3.25 for 9 is my PR. So the fact I'm doing 3 plates for, I think I got a 9 on this as well, I'm pretty happy with. Pretty quickly, straight off I think 8 weeks after the show, but only 2 weeks back into training post-show because I had to take all that time off because of my surgery. So pretty happy with that. It does go to show the body is still recovering and resting post-show, and you'll actually maintain your strength even taking 4 weeks off. The first week, don't get me wrong, was a bit iffy, but week 2, which is what this is now, I felt absolutely fine. In fact, this is almost week 3. When it comes to pressing, I'm not the biggest fan of locking out. As you can see here, I find my triceps are my weakest part of the press, and of course the final inch is mostly triceps. So because I did flies first and I came all the way to the center, I think that's enough stimulation for that central line of the flies, central pec, to really stimulate that. Look at the color of my hands on that. I really did cut the circulation off. I'm pretty sure that is not from the elbow sleeves. That's going to be from the bar itself. But there's my rest pause. I'm probably only going to be able to get 1 out of this. Yeah, the second one's not going to be happening. So I don't do a top set anymore. I do pretty much 2 top sets and a back off. But even this, dropping the weight, I'm still only going to be able to get probably 10 reps on this. Which I'm happy with. That's the goal. I do want to work on a bit more strength before we then transfer it into some higher rep stuff. So right now, that's the plan. Still build a little bit of strength in that 8 to 10 rep range. And then we can do some more 15 to 18 rep range to get nice and bubbly. But so don't be afraid to come out of a set. So like I said, be super, super careful. I have injuries because I ignore the very minor red flags, but red flags nonetheless. And I felt I was slightly not centered. I wasn't quite. God, what's the word? Not parallel. I wasn't. Nope, it's gone. I wasn't aligned properly with the bar. Word will come to me soon, I'm sure. But so I felt I needed to change the angle ever so slightly, and then reset and go again, and not just take the risk and go when I'm not perfectly aligned, as that's how you get the injuries a lot of the time. But there's my first rest pause. Just a mini one at the top. I would really count that as a rest pause. I think I just needed a breath just to make sure that I was going to get the second rep in. I'm pretty sure that was only 9, so 1 less than intended. I think this time I actually dropped the weights way down and got some much higher volume this time. make sure I'm in this, staring at the camera, just make sure I'm in the actual scene itself. But yeah, so I'm pretty sure I went for a higher volume set this time, just to make up for the fact I was missing a few reps there. So I think this is only a 2 plate, trying to get 18 reps. Not a bad angle. I see why I chose to do this angle. Looking nice and thick. So yeah, I also promise you guys, I don't have blood pressure issues. I go bright red when I train. That sort of started happening ever since I had my hair transplant. My face just goes stupid red when I'm training. I mean, I do tense my face like this, like I'm constipated, but it's something I've noticed. It's really weird. I go bright red in the face. It's not a blood pressure thing. That's just how it's been for the last few years. I promise I'm on top of my blood pressure. Even though my hands look like that. That's absolutely wild. I never noticed that before. Probably a little bit to do with the elbow sleeves, and then the rest is going to just be the bar completely cutting off the circulation there. But yeah, the struggles of training solo is pretty tough, which is why I do like the rest pauses. Okay, just wanted to do some posing. There's a mirror, actually, you'll see me stare into the distance. That's a mirror that I'm posing into. Just wanted to show off a little bit to see what we're working with, some of the thickness, and plus this is where I got some of my stills for my thumbnail. You'll see in the thumbnail for the video. Okay, moving on to a chest press. This is a seated chest press, and it's converging, which is fantastic. I think that's the best type of machine you can actually get. It's a converging chest press, and this is a ever so slightly decline as well, just from the way it pivots, because the pivot point is under my feet, so it will like drop ever so slightly away from me. So I can get a slight decline. I cannot decline bench because of that shoulder issue. Even though I did it on a flat bench, any decline just feels like my shoulder's going to dislocate. So it's a pretty bad angle. It looks like my range of motion is absolutely terrible here, but I promise you I am stretching quite a bit. I don't lock out usually, like I say, because it is purely triceps for me, and this machine is very, very hard to lock out on, so I don't want to waste all of my energy just trying to get a lockout and then sacrifice a potential rep going in there. So I'm doing triceps after this, so I'm not too worried about that. But okay, so this is, I think I took off a 10 kilos each side and going again for a 10 to 12 is the goal. I only got a 9 last time, and I didn't have it in me to do a rest pause. I just lost control of the weight. Not lost control, but when it came back on me, it was so heavy I couldn't hold it in place. And like I said, I like to lock out at the top, like you see me doing here, to keep a little bit of tension through the muscle. It hurts a lot, by the way. And then I try to go again. But I remember, yep, I couldn't do it. So I tried doing a rest pause the other way, the traditional way, which you saw me doing on the Smith Incline, which was just actually rest, and then go back in, and then get a couple more reps out. And I wasn't sure I was going to be able to do this because it's super heavy at the bottom, but I was. So I managed to get a couple more reps in, and so it was actually worth doing the rest pause. So last set, this is my third set for this exercise. Yes, I wanted to show that the camera angle was deceptive, and I do actually get a little bit more range of motion that you could actually see. There, happy. Makes me happy anyway, knowing that I wasn't cheating it when showing everyone on YouTube that I was actually useless. But no, so this is one of my favorite machines. I have it in pretty much every chest workout just because, like I say, it just feels great. The angle feels good, it doesn't hurt my shoulder, and it's the only way I can kind of train at this angle. As you can see, it kind of does, it is ever so slightly decline, which is what I like about it, and the convergence is fantastic. One rest pause. If you've noticed by now, the way I do my rest pauses is I'll do one rest pause in the first and second set, and then my third set, I actually do 2 rest pauses, just because I normally have a slightly higher rep range. Couldn't do it for that. I normally have a slightly higher rep range for my third set, which means the rest pause actually goes further. Whereas if you already have sort of like an 8 to 10 rep range, then that's when, you know, you probably can only get one extra rep in. Whereas if you have a 15 to 18 rep range, you'll find you can get 3, 4, maybe even 5 extra reps in with rest pauses. But okay, moving on to flies. So the way I like to program my chest workouts is flies, press, flies. So I do like finishing on flies because of the incredible stretch it gives you. And I'm even going the extra mile by using D handles. That's not because I'm in this new gym fad of everything D handled. It is simply because this fly machine is very, very old. It's probably, it wouldn't surprise me if it's 20 to 30 years old. And back in the day, they wanted you to have rounded arms to do your flies. So you would come in and you do the classic bear hug. If you've read Arnie's encyclopedia, that's exactly how he describes it. It's like hugging a tree with bent arms. So it was designed for you to have bent arms. I do not like doing flies with bent arms. I want to be straight armed. I find it's much better for stimulus. I'm pretty sure science backs that up as well. You get a much better contraction through the chest with straight arms. So it just means the machine's too small. So I put D handles on purely to extend my reach so I can actually do this with straight arms. Similar to the first two exercises, we're on our fourth exercise. So the first 3 exercises, I'm doing 3 sets. First 2 sets were going to be high intensity, low reps. So that 8 to 10. And then I was going to drop it for a sort of 15 to 18. However, I think after the first one, again, I don't think I even cleared 10 reps. I'll have to go and rewatch that again, but I'm pretty sure I didn't clear the 10 reps. So I dropped the weights and then I accidentally got a load more reps than 12 on this second one. Not a problem. It's my last exercise of the day. The purpose of this is to get every single fiber firing. So stretching to my max and really contracting in hard. So going slightly lower weights and just fully keeping it in my chest is the goal. So hitting a 15 to 18 rep range on this was absolutely fine. So there we go. So that was the rest pause. Pretty painful exercise if you couldn't tell. It's the stretch. The stretch makes the biggest difference in the world. And I don't want to be stretching too extreme sort of like at the start of my workout. So I will do my really, my biggest range of motion on the flies for my last exercise of the day and not my first. I still want to keep my strength, and of course stretching can make you slightly weaker through the workout. So I do don't get me wrong, I still do a good range of motion in the first exercise, but I'm really focusing on the stretch here on the last exercise. That's why I like to finish on flies, so I get that really extreme stretch at the end. But this is going to be the last chest exercise of the day. So feeling pretty pumped up by now. I did the rest pause in the fully stretched position, and you'll see I'm actually going to do a double rest pause here. There it is. Maybe not. There it is. Okay. Just a quick one. And my form is kind of falling apart as you see me rush through the exercises. I don't mind having the last 1 or 2 reps with a slightly impacted form, shall we say, as long as, I'm still in a safe and healthy position and it's not actually going to injure me by any way. It's still going to get some muscle fiber activation rather than getting 0 if I just stopped dead. Okay, on to triceps. So this is my absolute favorite tricep machine. The way it pivots, I'll have to find the name out for you and put it in the description, but the way it pivots just makes it how to put this, you get to fully extend without compromising your shoulder, and you get to actually have this angle. As you can see, look at the range of motion for my triceps here. Range of movement for my triceps. It really does get to stretch and extends, and there's minimal movement in my elbow. once I get the weight down. There, so it does, it's a really, really nice machine, but it does feel very heavy at times as well. I'm pretty sure it's a Prime machine, the Prime Tricep extension or dip. I'm pretty sure it's just a seated dip machine is the name of it. But yeah, it is a very, very good piece of kit, and I'm going to be doing 3 sets on this. Rest pauses as per usual. I actually managed to stick to the same weight, which surprised me, but I think it is because I did a lot of tricep movements before this with I did 6 sets of presses, right? So my triceps are already somewhat pre-exhausted, so when it comes to actually training triceps, the drop-off in strength wasn't as severe because I didn't start strong. You know, I was only doing 60 kilos this was, so 3 20 plates that was on the back there. I was able to do 12 reps without a rest pause, and then 12 reps with 1 rest pause, and then 12 reps with 2 rest pauses, I think is what I got here. Might have been slightly less, but that still means I was happy with it, is what I'm trying to say. I was happy with it. And then moving on to the final exercise of the day. This is crossed over above my head, and it is just simply overhead extensions. I'm actually leaning on a pad. This is a specific machine which is for triceps and biceps, and so I'm actually leaning against, my arse is pushed right up against a pad, and I'm just doing overhead extensions. It is, unfortunately, this is why the camera angle is in a weird place and position, because it's right in the middle of the gym in a very busy time, and as you can see, it's getting busy. So I wasn't going to do any posing here either, because best lighting is, you know, right in the middle of the gym, and I wasn't going to just take my top off when it was this busy. So I don't like doing that. If it's nice and quiet, I can do some posing in the corner without disturbing anyone, but I don't like being that guy, you know, getting naked and posing when it's a busy gym and people want to use the bench, etc., etc. So you can actually see my scar there from the surgery just coming through the tank top just there. Things are going well. As you can tell, things must be going well because I'm doing a chest day. Yeah, okay, so this was the final exercise. It was just 1 drop set. Both sets I want to sort of be aiming for around 15 reps. Just really fire it up and just get the most blood now into the triceps as possible. And just blow it up. Again, looking for a really, really huge ROM with this, going all the way back behind my head, get a nice little stretch. I always like doing, when it comes to triceps, a sort of elbows tucked into your waist and then an elbows above your head for 2 different tricep exercises. Doesn't matter what they are. They could be skull crushers, they could be bodyweight triceps, they could be cable pushdowns, you know, anything which you take your elbows is below your waist, and then anything where your elbows are above your head. If you watch the full thing, surely you should be liking the video, subscribing if you already haven't, and leave me a comment on the next workout you want to see. I personally want to do a back day to show you where I need to build my weakest point, which is the middle of my back, and how I'm going about that. But guys, I am so close to starting my off season where my body weight is going to really skyrocket. So don't miss out on the next video where hopefully the off season has fully begun, and we're going to take things from there. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next video.